We never intended them to be anything other than a slave. But they began to grow in number and in power, and eventually they fought their way to some freedom. So we became even more cruel, and to keep our black Americans down, we lynched. But yet they rose. So then we used the welfare system, the criminal justice system, to keep them down, to contain them, to destroy them. But yet they rose.
Long story short, it really comes down to there is no reason. It's a deep-seated jealousy, a deep-seated hate that, black people exude greatness. Black people are the great inventors. Black people are the beginning of the human race.
Public service announcement to all black women. The reason why white women stare at you when we're in public is because we're admiring you. We think that you're beautiful. We think your hair is pretty. We think you wear your clothes cool. We think your skin is really beautiful. So that's why we're staring.
Hello good people, welcome to African Commentary. Here we learn and grow every day. If you're new here, kindly consider subscribing, liking and sharing the videos. I really appreciate. So in today's video, I want us to talk about white people's admiration of black people's excellence, culture. Like they do admire, but from a distance, and they don't want to acknowledge that, you know what, we love what you're doing. We love your culture. We love your swag. We love your style. They just want to admire from a distance, but it's so hard for them to actually confess to black people that, you know what, we love what you guys do. So without saying much, let's watch some videos and then I'm going to give my 2 cents at the end. Also, let me know what do you think about this video in the comment section down below.
Public service announcement to all black women. The reason why white women stare at you when we're in public is because we're admiring you. We think that you're beautiful. We think your hair is pretty. We think you wear your clothes cool. We think your skin is really beautiful. So that's why we're staring. Nothing else. I know some white women like to get in your business. But some of us, if you catch us staring, that's why. We think you're stunning. Have a beautiful day.
So finally, at least somebody was honest. I respect this white woman that came up and said, we stare at black women because we think you're beautiful. But she did say in her comments that she can recognize that that is not always the case, because y'all don't always just only stare at us. Sometimes y'all glare at us with pure venom, hate, jealousy, and envy. So at least we can agree that sometimes it's admiration. And I always tell y'all that love and hate lives on the same spectrum. Sometimes they love you so much that they start to hate you. It brews into hate, jealousy, and resentment, envy. We always talk about these things. But it's not always because of admiration. Sometimes it literally just be jealousy and obsession. That's what it be. But at least she, she's keeping it real from her perspective. What y'all think about this? But why do they be up in our business though? Like, okay, I get it. You're staring because you admire us. You think we're beautiful. You like our skin. Some of us, you like our hair, whatever. But why do you feel compelled to accost us, come up in our business, try to touch us, ask us questions? What is that part about? Because everybody keeps saying they have black fatigue. Once again, white people cannot have black fatigue. Black people have black fatigue. But they keep saying they're tired of black people. We don't bother y'all. We do not. I don't know any black person that just goes up to random fucking white people saying anything to them. As a collective, we don't do that. We do not give a fuck about what y'all got going on for the most part. Spreller is the Brooklyn way. What y'all think? Is it just...
Why do white people resent black excellence? Let's talk about it. Not all white people are racist, obviously, but there is a specific subset for whom black excellence seems like a personal affront to them, right? It really bothers them when black people succeed. The 13th Amendment emancipated enslaved black Americans in 1865, and then the Jim Crow laws kind of wrapped up with the passing of the Civil Rights Act in 1964. So if we do the math, that's about 61 years in which black Americans were able to strive for success in any sort of meaningful way without like the constraints of the law pulling them down. 61 years. If we compare that to white Americans who besieged a land already owned and occupied by indigenous Americans, we'll put that around 1620 when, you know, the Mayflower came here, then that gives them about 425 years to establish success in this country. 425 versus 61. If we compare those two fundamentally very different time spans, like, how much did white Americans actually do in all of that time? If we are to compare even the poorest and most underprivileged of white America to black America generally, it is clear that white Americans are born way past the start line, right? By that I mean, by like nature of being white in American society, you do benefit from all sorts of privileges. And like, to be frank, you're not exhausted by the horrible experience of facing racism on a daily basis, right? You do have a ton of privileges. So I imagine existing in this bubble of privilege that you like totally deny. The existence of black people for whom success is like second nature, when it comes so easily and so readily, even though you've only had 61 years to achieve it, I imagine that's exhausting and frustrating. I imagine it makes people feel super, super inferior and hurts certain people's tiny, tiny little egos. And what do they blame that deep, deep psychic pain on? Well, of course, DEI and critical race theory and affirmative action. So I guess the question is, what might help those white Americans who just so strongly detest black excellence? Like, what will help you? And for that, I would suggest like a lot of therapy, like a ton of therapy. And I would also just suggest that we open the schools, right? We teach people history. Yeah, maybe? Okay, bye.
We never intended them to be anything other than a slave. But they began to grow in number and in power, and eventually they fought their way to some freedom. So we became even more cruel, and to keep our black Americans down, we lynched. But yet they rose. So then we used the welfare system, the criminal justice system, to keep them down, to contain them, to destroy them. But yet they rose, and they're rising. Then we built prisons and jails to hold them. Yet they rose. And so now we are doing exactly what the Pharaoh did at the end, sending out a decree: kill them. So until we admit that when we wrote this Constitution that all men are created equal, that we never intended to include our black brothers and sisters, our nation may end up facing exactly what the Egyptians faced when they refused to let God's people go. So I'm going to say this to my white fellow Americans, that the bloodshed that is on its way is not on the hands of our fellow black Americans, but is on our hands. We are the ones that are refusing to let God's people go. We are the ones that are refusing to acknowledge that we do not value our black brothers and sisters as equal individuals or equal Americans as us white men. And to my black brothers and sisters, the racial issues, as I've said, have been there from the very foundation. But why do we see it more? Because there's a shifting. See, us white men have been at the head since the foundation. But we've had a black president. And you know, we've done everything in our power to keep him from really changing things. Now we have another minority rising to the top, a white female. What does that say? Those of us who are white men who have been at the head are now starting to see and fear that we are going to become the tail. And we know what we've done to you. And so now we're fearful that you're going to do to us what we have done to you. But I will say this. I've lived in a black community for 23 years. I've never been treated the way that this country has treated my black Americans. So I call out my white Americans to say we better heed, repent, acknowledge, and change. Because if we don't, I just want to again say this. The bloodshed that
Pose the question, Why do white people hate black people so much? I have been in situations where I've been surrounded by nothing but white people. And this conversation has come up. The race conversation has come up. And no one ever has an actual reason as to why they hate black people. There's always these, oh, black on black crime. Oh, they're lazy. Oh, they're this. But it's not actually, there's no legitimacy behind their reasoning. It's just shit that they've heard and they're regurgitating. And so, long story short, it really comes down to there is no reason. It's a deep-seated jealousy, a deep-seated hate that, black people exude greatness. Black people are the great inventors. Black people are the beginning of the human race, the Eve gene. And white people have worked so hard to erase the history and erase the greatness of the black race. Down to even when things are invented, the majority of things that are invented were invented by a black person. But yet the white race has actually erased the original inventor from history and have put their names on things that they had no business putting their names.
White people have always admired black people's culture, even if they've tried to destroy it. But imitation is not a form of flattery, especially when you're doing blackface currently. In Poland, there's a show called Your Face Sounds Familiar. And on this show, we got some YCs, young colonizers, who are imitating black artists in America, like Kendrick Lamar and Beyonce and other artists, by dressing up in blackface and performing. And their community loves it. Now, why is this so dangerous? It's dangerous because these YCs, I don't think that they have a hateful heart, but they have an ignorant mind. And with that creates so many problems because it says that I love aspects of you, but I am not willing to get to know your history. I will use your rhythm. I will copy your style. I will imitate your swag, but I am not interested in destroying a system that I know oppresses you. So when we see blackface being done currently, and even with your favorite talk show hosts, it says a lot about where we're at as a people. And I mean a people collectively, one that knows that there's a group of people that have an enormous amount of creativity and influence and impact on the world, period, but not enough where people will actually change it. So does imitation really become flattery when people are trying to be us, but they don't necessarily want to see us when it comes to the problems and the social issues that we have?
So first of all, I love those white people who come out and just confess the truth that, you know what, black people, we love everything that you do. We love you. We love your culture. We love the way you handle things. We love your resilience. We love your strength. You see, for most of them, they put their ego up, they put their ego high, so they feel like when they confess to black people about their admiration to them, they will break their ego, they will lower their ego. So this is something that they keep in them, they don't share it out. But for those white folks who come out and say, you know what, black people, enough is enough, we have been pretending for the longest time, we have been feeling, can I say, ashamed, we can be feeling bad about your excellence, we have been feeling like you can do much better than us, but we are afraid to tell you. So instead of acknowledging, let's say if we talk about black people's culture, instead of acknowledging their culture, they just take it and claim that it is theirs. They try to win over black people's culture when we talk about in terms of music, in terms of style, you see. They just want to outshine black people on things that do belong to black people themselves. So, for white people, this is a question to you. For how long are you going to live like this? For how long are you going to keep this in you? For example, if someone wins, you just go and tell that person, I love what you're doing and congratulations. Is that hard to say? Telling someone, congratulations, you have won this, you have done this, I didn't expect, you say, you have done something which is great. Is that really something hard to say? So, is it because of racism? Is it because of white supremacy? They feel like black people's win kinda shakes their supremacy, because you know what, they always keep black people down because they know we are more than what they see, that black people can do magic, black people can move mountains, black people can move the world to a place that no one expects. So instead of fueling this strength that black people have, they try to drain it, they try to keep it down, they try to make black people hate themselves, they try to make black people hate on themselves. You see, they try to make black people feel like they're less, like they don't have any power, they don't have anything great that can help anywhere. So my message to black people is that know your power. The way I said in the previous video, claim your power. Whether you're a black American, whether you're an African, whichever place you come from, as long as you're black, never feel less of yourself. You see, we are making moves that the world is not ready for. You see, the world is not ready for black people's moves, innovations, like great things are going to happen. So for black people, let the narratives, that the notions that you have been fed up for the longest time go away, that you know what, you can't do anything without this western, you can't do anything without these western powers assistance, like we do depend on their aid. No, we don't. Actually, they are the ones who are raping from us. Let's talk about Africa. These people come in Africa, they take away our mineral resources, they go produce things, and then we are the ones to buy from them, and they double up the costs. So it's high time, as black people, we know that we got everything that we need to move forward. Even for our leaders, it's time that you guys be strict. You guys stand up for your people, stand up for black people. Stop letting these people come into our country, into our continent, taking up everything, even giving you guys, you leaders, policies, and you just follow. Like, you can't stand in business. You can't say, this is not working for my people, this is not what black people want. It's high time these leaders stand up for their own people. That is the only reason as to why we put them in the office, to stand up for us, to lead us in a good way, to stop the manipulation from Western powers, to stop the oppression from colonizers, you see. So our leaders, I feel like they're failing us bad, because it is them who deal with these people. We are just the recipients. Like, whatever they decide, it's what the citizens will suffer, or the consequences of their choices is what the citizens will face. So with that said, guys, let me know your thoughts about this. White people who are coming out, kudos, continue the same spirit, continue being out loud, voice out your ideas, or your what's the word, for white people who are coming out to confess their admiration for black people's excellence. Keep it up, never give up, never let your ego control you. No, if someone is good, the person is good. If someone is bad, the person is bad. So I like it when people are coming out, not just people, but white people are coming out to confess that they do admire black people in every aspect, culture, strength, black women, how they look, how they everything, our resilience, you see. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and I will really appreciate. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.